Hello and welcome to our video. Today we're at Alficina workshops in Nottingham, where we restore and service classic Alfa Romeos from 1950s to 1970s. We share the same workshops with P&K Thornton Restorations, which is our classic Jaguar restoration company. Today we will explore a couple of our classic Alfa Romeo, in particular the 105 Spider Duetto and the Giulia Ti. Although they look very differently, the two Alfa Romeos have quite a lot in common. In particular, they were both born in 1968 at the Portello factory just outside Milano. The Giulia Ti, the Ti stands for Turismo Internazionale, which was a type of racing at the time in Italy. It is the 1.3-liter version, coupled two Weber 45 carburettors. This particular model came to us for an engine rebuild, which we've done. And today we're putting some miles on the car to run the engine in, which is a brilliant excuse to drive this fantastic 1960s Alfa Romeo Giulia. Our previous video on engines mentioned these aspects of the running in. If you do want to give that a viewing, please follow the link on top. In 1960s, when it first introduced, the Giulia was described as a very nimble four-door saloon, considering the small capacity of the engines. It was equipped either with the 1.6-liter engine or the 1.3-liter engine. It was accelerating from 0 to 60 miles an hour in around 12 seconds, which for the 1960s was spectacular, even in comparison to many sports cars of the times. We're gonna pull a move now on these lorries, and there she goes. As I was saying earlier, under 3,000 RPM there isn't much happening, but once it picks up the rev, it puts a big smile on your face. My experience with the Giulia 105 started about 10 years ago, when I was actually racing a red 1965 Giulia Super. And I bought that car on a whim. It was a fully developed race car with history. It actually won a lot of races in the past, so very good pedigree race car. But it's not been run for quite a long time, so I picked it up as a project, and we developed it and it got it serviced and running again, and then we started racing it. And what I liked about it at the time, I didn't really know much about Alfa Romeo. I think it was 10 years ago, but I love the shape of it, how boxy it is, but at the same time how good looking it is. And I fell in love with it at the time, and I've been racing that one for a few good years in Scotland and in England. A few big races, Silverstone Classic, where we were actually we were on course to win the class. But unfortunately we touched a Lotus Cortina, and from there onwards our race unfolded in not so good manner, because we had to come back to the pits and hammer the wing back, and that proved to be a very expensive weekend, because not only we lost the race engine, but we also suffered damage to the bodywork in the car. And I still have that wing, where the front corner, where the front wing that was damaged, I still have it in the workshop. Just reminds me of possibly my most expensive day in motorsport. Now we're going to go in the workshop, where I will pass you on to Mick to discuss our classic Alfa Romeo motorsport preparation side of the business.
Hi, my name's Mick. I'll be the workshop manager here at P&K Thornton. Alficina, it was set up to help Chip with his racing aspiration. Chip's had a passion for racing since he came to the UK, and possibly before he came to the UK. By getting this car to fulfill his dream of going racing, we've ended up creating the Alficina brand to support Chip's racing. And what we found, There is a number of customers, clients who also want to take their little Alfa racing. We've started branching out into offering some race support, re-preparation in between race meetings, so that you can enjoy your car a little bit more because we're going to look after it for you. This car is what's called FIA Appendix K, which is a period specification for saloon car racing. So the car has to remain relatively standard. And overall, it's made a nice little car. If you've got any reliability problems, hopefully we can iron that out for you so that you get more enjoyment from your actual race day. And I'm going to hand you back now to Chip.
The second generation of the Spider was introduced in the mid-60s, and here we have the early edition of it, the Duetto Coda Sepia model, which is possibly the prettiest of them all. On the Spider, we've undertaken a full nut and bolt restoration under just under 12 months. It was resprayed in Verde Pino. Now we're at the stage where we're testing the vehicle on the road. It hasn't been on the road for over 2 decades, so it is a big moment in the car's history. We're still getting to know the Spider and dialing it in after such a long period of absence from the road. This is a true La Dolce Vita car, although we're currently driving it through Nottingham. Not quite the same as the shores of Cinque Terre or Napoli. Everything seems to be behaving. We have good oil pressure, good water temperature, switching through the gears. The gear change is nice and smooth. Overtaking a cyclist, absolutely. Yes, boys. The Giulia Spider, in comparison to the Giulia Ti, is a completely different experience. Not only the soft top and the open air experience, but also the way the car drives. An unusual fact that we find with the suspension in comparison to the 4-door family car is that the Spider, the open 2-seater, has the softer suspension made for comfort. The Italians were rewarding the driver in the Giulia Ti in the saloon a slightly sportier driving experience. The engine in the Spider is maybe not as crisp as the freshly built engine in the Ti for obvious reason. Nothing fancy about it, but I can tell you it goes, it pulls. I'll see you back at the shop where we conclude this video. Although the shape of the Duetto will win many hearts, for me personally the crispiness of the fresh 1.3 liter engine in the Giulia Ti won me over. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, leave us your comments, and we'll see you on to the next one.